Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable's After Dark show. It is Vanessa and I here tonight, and we are joined by Angie Poscatto, who is now on the team with us here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. She has quite an extensive history in the car business. So, Angie, it's great to have you on tonight, and I'm excited for our audience to hear all about you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Vanessa. It's great to be back on. As we were talking about last time, we kind of took a slowdown on the After Dark shows during the summer season. So it's good to be back.
It is so good to be back, and we're only getting started. We are working on, how we can be more consistent with the After Dark show, and we're definitely wanting to have guests every single week here. So stay tuned, 8 p.m. Eastern for the After Dark show. And tonight we have the pleasure of talking with our newest Fixed Ops family member, Angie. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I met you for the first time at the Full Tank Auto Show, or the Full Tank Auto Pop-Up event. And so that's the only time I met you in person. Katrina, you have spent time with her for different pop-up events this past week. But first and foremost, how did you get into the car business? Like Katrina said, you have extensive history, I believe, on the retail side. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I grew up in the car business, it feels like. My family had dealerships in Michigan. So I grew up wanting to go to work with my dad every Saturday. Every time I would go, it was just the energy that I was really addicted to. It was like palpable. You could go on the sales floor. It was exciting. It felt very glamorous to me. But not just the front end of things. I was really drawn to fixed ops too. So my dad started as a technician. So I've always grown up around him wrenching on cars and spending a lot of time in the service department. So it was really all aspects of the dealership that really appealed to me. And I really enjoyed just being a part of it and being able to go with him. So even when I think it probably would have been easier for him to leave me at home some Saturdays when he had like a packed day, I would demand on getting in the car and going with him. And then, one thing led to another. I started working with him during the summers. So every summer I would work in a different department. I really enjoyed working in the BDC. I would answer phones for all the departments. I worked in the service lane one summer. And then I went away to college and kind of thought I'd go in a different route. I got a degree in political science. And then after that, I came back and kind of fell into a position at the dealership and never left. So I started in F&I was my first full-time position within the organization. After that, I attended the NADA Dealer Academy and was able to really get to learn and understand all the departments. And then I was fortunate enough to become a partner with my dad in 2015. So that's kind of my background in retail. And I love all things automotive, all things retail, especially though Fixed Ops has a special place in my heart.
That's amazing. And Angie, you're a Michigan native, just like Vanessa and I. We are just all in the mitten together. Where do you live now?
I live in East Lansing.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, so right in mid-Michigan.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's great. Tell us more about, how you got to where you are in the automotive space now.
Yeah, so after I was as a partner with my dad for 2015 was when I became a partner with him, and I loved it. I loved working with him. I loved every minute of that. He got to a point where he was looking to retire, and we had to make some pretty serious decisions about what the plan was going forward. So we had the opportunity to sell in 2022, and that's what we chose to do in October to a wonderful group. And the team is in great hands with the group, and still doing fabulously. So very exciting. It was a great ending all around. I took a little bit of a break. I thought I might want an early retirement, and that lasted for like 4 months before I realized that I was very bored. I missed the industry. So I got right back in and did a few things before the roundtable, but through my connections with Sarah Van Tyne, was introduced to Ted and to you girls. So I couldn't be happier about where I am and to be part of this team.
Yes. How did you meet Sarah Van Tyne?
Through a previous company. So we worked together before the roundtable.
Awesome. So you guys were coworkers and now coworkers again. So
yes.
Full circle. I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's great. And Angie and I were just down in Texas for the Reynolds and Reynolds Amplify event. Angie, was that your first pop-up? Have you done some before with Ted? Tell us all about that and, what your experience was like.
Yeah, my first pop-up was in Illinois. So it was at the Roman Automotive Group in Schaumburg. I was so nervous going into that, just not knowing what to expect. I've seen you guys do them so many times, and you do such a great job. And it's so cool to see on the produced end when you see the final product. But I had no idea what goes into it other than my experience of watching you guys at Northwood. So Schaumburg was a great experience. I really enjoyed the ability to get to know the employees of the Roman Automotive Group, hear their story. They have such an exceptional culture there. And getting to know the different partners that we're able to partner with and hear their discussions, their backgrounds. That I think is what's most exciting about what I do for the Fixed Ops Roundtable is really connect those partners and those best ideas and best practices to the dealer network. So that was my first experience. It was so much fun. And then a week later, we flew out to Dallas and did the pop-up in Dallas. So at the Reynolds and Reynolds event. Cool. So that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the clips and you are absolutely a natural on camera. Mm-hmm. Have you had past experiences on camera doing panels of any sort?
No, I was a dancer. So I'm very comfortable in front of, an audience with a routine that I know, but in front of a camera kind of ad lib. No, this was totally new to me. And it's something that I am, learning and we'll get better at as I go.
That's amazing. Tell us. So Marco's in the chat. Hello, Marco.
Hi, Marco.
Also,
thanks, Marco.
Hi. Yes, he was also there, had a great time. Angie, tell us what you really enjoyed about Texas overall as, your second pop-up event, and kind of your thoughts on the whole event, because it was a little bit different, from what we're used to.
Yes, I think Texas was a really great opportunity to get to know a lot of our partners. So as opposed to Roman, where I got to get to know a lot of the employees of the Roman Automotive Group, Reynolds was more of an experience to get to know our partners that we partner with all the time. So that was a really great opportunity to talk to them, get to know the products. I mean, you saw how many exciting technological advancements are happening right now. The parts delivery robot was like out of this world. That was crazy to see in real time.
Yeah.
I think there's so many things. That's the coolest part about this business is it's constantly evolving. So summits like the Amplify Summit and things that are constantly, put on by our partners, I think are such a benefit to our dealers because things are constantly changing. They're constantly moving. And if you're not in the latest and the greatest and kind of up on what's next to come, I think you get left behind pretty quickly. So I think that we give everyone an opportunity to kind of get a sneak peek into things, to get the story behind them, and get people interested in things before they're obsolete, really.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I think that is a huge part of the Fixed Ops Roundtable too, is, staying updated, staying relevant, innovating your company, and just expanding your knowledge and your connections.
Yes.
Awesome. And here they are at the pop-up event, all looking amazing. So like you said, Angie, the industry is constantly evolving and you were in it, you're still in it, but on the retail side, all the way up until the 2020s. Mm-hmm. And we know what happened then, COVID, then technology, AI started coming around in 2022, 2023. So what were some crazy changes that you saw in the industry and that you experienced firsthand?
I don't want to age myself with you guys, but I remember when we had one internet phone, one cell phone that took all internet-driven phone calls. So we had a website and a dedicated phone number, and that phone would ring and it felt like outer space was calling. It was like everyone would gather around and, it was just internet pricing, internet merchandising was a thing that none of us were really comfortable with at the time. And I remember going to, I wasn't in the 20 group at the time, but I would sit with my dad in his 20 group. And I remember them saying, this is never going to take off. No one will ever buy a car in the internet. It just won't happen. Mm-hmm. And it's fun to see just how much that has changed and the advancements as far as that goes, the different vendors that we've partnered with over the years to make that happen. And really merchandising and showcasing your dealership on the internet is, I mean, that's how you have to be right now. I like I said, I don't want to age myself, but that was probably the biggest, most significant change is really the internet and the BDC really being the hub of the dealership. That was a huge thing for us too.
Absolutely. Yeah. It started, with phones, and now there's software solutions and then solutions that plug into the solutions that are already existing, and just software stacks of every kind. So lots of exciting things happening in the industry.
Right. Yeah. We have Guy in the chat. Yes, we are concentrated in the automotive industry, specifically fixed operations. He brings up AI, which, that's a giant change within the industry. Mm-hmm. And where do you think AI is going after, hearing from a lot of our partners about, their new technologies and just seeing it at Reynolds and how they're taking the lead on that?
Yeah, I feel like if you don't jump on the AI bandwagon, at least at some point in your business, you're really leaving a lot behind. I think that AI is a great tool. I don't think that AI replaces anyone. I don't think it replaces any role. I know that that's a fear among, a lot of people going forward, is that it'll take that human element out of a transaction. I look at it differently. I look at it as a way to really sophisticate the experience, make it a lot more frictionless, and make it a more positive experience for the customer all around. And I think in the end, it'll be a much more positive experience for the dealership too.
Absolutely. Wow. That's at Rohrman, I believe.
Yep, that was at Rohrman.
Yes. So I saw you also did some mini mic interviews.
Yes.
Which Katrina and I, we love our mini mic interviews. It feels like every single event, we always have a little mini mic in hand. So what was your experience with that? Did you like it?
I loved it. Yes. Yeah. Again, I was nervous because those mini mics we don't have, they're not scripted. What you see there is very conversational. It's very organic. So that is great. And I love that aspect of it, but it also kind of elicits some nerves of, when you hear the 3, 2, 1, go, it's like, sometimes you blink out. It can get nerve-wracking. But the ability to be more conversational, more organic with people and calm them down and really get them to focus on what makes their experience or their product or their solution or their story one to tell is a really cool attribute and a really cool thing that I'm really lucky to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was one of the panels that we did at the Snell Auto Group when we were down in Texas. We had a full agenda. We hopped from, the Reynolds Amplify event straight over to Snell. So it was a jam-packed.
Katrina and Ted had 2 full packed days at that pop-up.
Yes. Right after, Singapore with some jet lag, but I beat the jet lag.
I don't know how you did that.
Caffeine, sleep, and fueling my body, but it was an amazing couple days, and being able to see Angie again in person, it was great. I love the Fixed Ops Roundtable for what it is, in the sense that it is what we get to do with the pop-up events is see our partners and our friends in person versus, online with the After Dark shows or with our virtual events. They're so great and so convenient because you can do it from home. You can watch them during work, but, being in person at these pop-up events is really amazing, Vanessa, when you get to interact with everyone and see them in person.
It is. I remember when we first started, we almost wanted like a list of the people, because we've been talking to so many people at this point online. We knew their, what companies they work for. We knew their names, but it's hard because a profile picture does not do justice for like them in person. So I remember Katrina and I, we've always been like, when we were newer, very concerned going to events, like, okay, we hope we recognize everybody. We don't want to like mess up anybody. But now that we've met our friends in person so many times, it's like every single time we see them, we just have such strong connections.
Yeah.
And that is one of the greatest things that the Fixed Ops Roundtable has given the both of us is strong connections.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. And I can see that honestly, when we are anywhere and people are coming up and saying hello to you guys, you can tell that it's a long-standing relationship and that you've worked really hard at that and that people really respect that too.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's funny just because a lot of it is virtual. Like I think I've probably only seen, Ted in person over the course of a couple months, probably like a dozen times, but it's like, Vanessa and I have worked with him for so long virtually. We talk with him like almost every day on the phone. So it's like these standing relationships, it's so different when you see them in person, but at the same time, it's like, you know exactly who they are and they're like family.
Yeah.
So it really is special. It really is special. And I love to see our partners in person and, you know, just continue to connect with them.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we skated over that, but for everyone that doesn't know, Katrina joined us in Dallas right off of a 12-day trip to Singapore.
It was less. It was only a week. So
okay,
it was
a week-long trip. So as soon as you got used to the time change, you got on a plane and flew straight to Dallas, joined us for the pop-up event, and then got on a plane after those 2 pop-up events and went back and moved back into school at Northwood University. And you're now the chair for the auto show that it's coming up. So the woman that does it all.
Yes.
I need to know the secret. It's crazy.
I know. I was just telling my team we had an event tonight. It was going from 6 to 8. And so I had to run back here and like leave it a little bit early. And I was like, okay, guys, I got to do this. They're like, what don't you do? Like, I'm like, I know I manage it all, but it keeps me going, truthfully. I mean, if I had free time in my day, I would be laying in my bed and then I would be more tired and more drowsy, not able to get all the stuff I get done. So, I mean, it keeps me going. It's fun. We had a super fun cookout tonight with almost everyone on campus. We had mini mic interviews with like a lot of the vehicles and walk arounds. So we were talking about that earlier today on the show. And it's kind of funny because I think what Vanessa and I learned from mini mics from, you know, the Fixed Ops Roundtable and the After Dark show and stuff like that, we take and I now utilize them in my life. I know Vanessa's done mini mic interviews with Lithia employees and stuff like that. So it's we're learning constantly and, you know, using these applications into other parts of our lives. But Lithia has been amazing with Vanessa. Tell us about that now that you're down in Austin and kind of how that's been.
It's been super good. So I'm at it now. I'm almost a full month into it. My first, you know, big girl job post grad. And it's the perfect position for me. I love what I do. I love the work that I do. It's on the corporate side of Lithia, but it's working directly with our dealerships. So it's got a little bit of the best of both worlds there. And being able to go into the different dealerships with my boss, talk to the GMs, talk to the fixed ops manager, F&I, and just help dealerships perform better and see it kind of from a bird's eye view is something that I'm really grateful for because I don't know if a lot of people know this. I'm sure a lot of our friends here do, but even people at Northwood, everybody always thinks I'm an automotive major because all of my experience is with automotive, but I'm not an automotive major. I studied marketing. So I didn't really get to learn like the ins and outs of a dealership. And I didn't realize that I wanted to go into automotive until later in college. So I never got like an early internship at a dealership. So I've actually never worked within a dealership. And that's something I really want to do. I want to retail experience. So I feel like this is a great kind of entryway into the automotive industry and the retail side of it. So I can be more knowledgeable on the car business. I can understand it in and out, and I can bring that knowledge here to the Fixed Ops Roundtable as well. So I'm loving it so far. It's a lot of travel, which if you know Katrina and I, we love traveling anyways. So that's completely fine. And yeah, I moved to Texas for it. So I love Texas. It's really hot. I'm kind of excited for it to cool down a little bit. But that makes me think of September, Katrina, and your show is coming up in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Less than that. We've been running around like crazy. This auto show we planned for a whole entire year. For a little bit of background, for those of you that don't know, Vanessa and I studied for her, and I am studying right now at Northwood University, which is an automotive-centered school. It has a very prominent space in the automotive industry. Vanessa studied marketing, and I studied automotive marketing and management. So with that, one of our big projects that we do is an auto show. Guy asked in the chat what brands we represent. We represent all OEMs. We work with local dealers as well as different OEMs that we have good relationships with. And it's coming up September 18th is the Thursday. So we have a couple events happening then, but mostly our public show is the 19th through the Sunday, the 21st of September. So it's coming up really quick, which means a lot of planning. You know, my team and I are up here at school. So we're balancing, you know, school, social life, auto show planning, all of our work and jobs that a lot of us still do part-time while we're at school. So it's been amazing and a lot of hard work, but it's all coming together slowly. And it just, again, like it keeps us going. Like if we stay busy throughout the day, we're able to get more stuff done in all aspects of our lives. But we were just looking the show layout today. We have so much expanding that's happening this year for the auto show. We have great location for exotic vehicles. We're expecting, over a dozen just extremely nice vehicles that will be on campus. But then on top of that, we have around 500 vehicles that are, from our dealers, private owners, OEM, stuff like that. So it's a huge auto show and it's just entirely run by students. And Vanessa played a huge role in that as well when she was on campus. Tell us about your experience with that and kind of what you did.
Yeah. So I was able to be on the board with Katrina for a couple of years when I was in college. And the first time we were both on the board, it was actually for the same team. We were on the marketing team. I was social media and she was public relations. And then the next year I was the marketing chair. So I really did all things marketing with the auto show. Our friend Brooke Engelhart, a lot of people know her, Colin Kubik, they were also on the marketing team and they were such great people to work with as well. I helped secure in-kind advertisements with Automotive News, created advertisements for CBT News, ran the socials, had all the accounts from the LinkedIn to the Instagram to the Facebook. And yeah, it was a really great experience because my undergrad was in marketing. And so I was able to kind of apply what I was learning into the classroom into an actual business, the auto show. And by that, that's kind of where I was like, okay, I like the automotive industry. And then we met Ted in the Fixed Ops Roundtable almost 3 auto shows ago.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is so crazy. I actually can't believe it. But we met him and then he was like, gave us this position, and Katrina and I, we came on at the very exact same time to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. So that was incredible. And with the auto show, Katrina, I remember a couple months ago, I was like, so what's new with the auto show? Like, what are you working on? And you explained to me maybe for 10 minutes of all of the new things you were implementing. And
we were in a hot tub in Greece when I was doing that.
No, that's exactly where we were. So I was like, okay, so like, what are you implementing? And then she just went off. So give us a couple sneak peeks. You don't have to tell us everything because we want them. They will see it on the socials. Anybody going in person will see it. But just what are you working on? What's new with the auto show?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, we're expanding just overall as a whole, a lot more exotic vehicles this year. We're adding a whole new division, which is super exciting. It is our racing division. So we have, larger racing companies as well as some privately owned vehicles, which is awesome. We have a heavy duty division, which we're adding on to. And then one of our really exciting factors is we're doing a lot more for the community this year with the show in terms of like kids, entertainment aspects. We're partnering with the Humane Society to have dogs on campus this year for adoption. We're having a whole kids zone. So a lot is growing this year with the auto show, which I'm super excited about because when I got into the role, there's so much work that goes into it. One of my big things was I don't want to do it if I'm not going to innovate it to the next level and to a huge extent, to 10 levels above, where it has been in the past, because I don't know. When I see it, I want it to be, I just see all the potential that it has and where it can be and what we can change. And with that role and where I'm in it right now, that was my goal for it. So being able to have a team under me that is the same, amount of passionate about it and wants to grow the show like I do has been awesome. And I've had such a great time doing it.
It's such a great experience.
Yes, it has been. Angie, with you growing up in the dealership world, did you ever hear about Northwood University?
Oh yeah. Yes. Very familiar with that. My dad was nominated for the Time Dealer of the Year award through, at NADA. And then, so we worked closely with Northwood at that point, and then also was the Northwood Dealer of the Year at one point too. So we were able to go to the reception, and that was very cool. And I've been to the campus quite a few times. Hindsight's 2020. I probably should have attended Northwood, but I'm a Grand Valley State Laker. So
yeah. Did you ever think about attending Northwood? Was that ever on your radar?
It was for a while when I was younger. And then when I became a junior, I went to Grand Valley, and for whatever reason, it just really stuck with me. And that became the place that I wanted to go. But I think that Northwood, the education is one thing. And I think the education is amazing. But what you girls are describing, your experience in leadership, your experience in automotive, the doors that it opens, the networking, the people. I mean, I think all of that takes the education and just puts it on steroids. It just amplifies it beyond measure. I think that's the best degree you can have in automotive.
Yeah. And even beyond the auto show, they sponsor us students out to so many different events, like Event to Women in Automotive. So have multiple Northwood students. Katrina, she's going to be going to her 4th year at NADA. Wow. She went her very first year, and now she's going her second too. And so just trusting in us students to represent Northwood well and go to these industry events and meet the best and the greatest in the industry is just, it's so amazing. So that's also how we made a lot of connections and doors started flying open. So yeah, Northwood's really great for that.
It really is. Yeah, that's so cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I want to end this After Dark show with talking about you personally. Like, yes, work and car business, but who is Angie? What do you like to do on your free time? Do you have family? And just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm married. I have 3 boys. I have 2 stepsons. One's 17, and his first football game is tomorrow night. His first football game. He played on the team last year, but this is his first, totally varsity football. He was on JV and varsity last year, so we're excited for that. And then 10 years old, just started 5th grade. And then I have a 2-year-old too. So all boys. I'm in a house with all boys. Even my dog is a boy. So overloaded with boys. Yeah. And then in free time, I really like there's not much of it with all of the boys, but I also teach group fitness. So that's something that's a passion of mine. Yeah. So early mornings before anything kicks off, that's where you can find me, is in the gym and motivating a group of ladies. They're hardcore. They're up no matter what day it is, how cold it is, how warm it is. They're in that gym to get it done. So I love that aspect too.
Katrina found a really great fitness class in January, and she has gotten everybody to go to it in Midland, even me, and we just fell in love with it. So we love
every day, 5 a.m., like it's a bar class or bar, and we would go in the morning.
Oh, how cool.
That's so cool. I love that. That's so awesome. Boy, mom, very busy. You and Sarah both you guys are doing it all. I mean, being a mom is so much on its own. And then you are full-time with the Fixed Ops Roundtable, traveling and everything like that. So we are so happy to have you here with us on the team.
So happy to be here and just excited for everything we have to come. And hopefully we'll see you guys both at Northwood very soon.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also very soon we have our 4-day event coming up, which is super exciting. Vanessa, if you want to tell us about that and our dates and what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, so we have our Roaring 20s, the Second Swing event coming up next month, right before the auto show, September 8th through the 11th, Monday through Thursday. This is the best part about our virtual events, is that whether you're at work or just at home, you can log in and hear the latest industry trends. And it's completely complimentary. You can get your tickets right now at fixedopsroundtable.com. So make sure to get those tickets. And yeah, we hope to see you all at that event, and Mondays and Wednesdays here at the After Dark.
Definitely. Well, Angie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's great to have you on the team, and it was great to have you joining us tonight. So, those online can hear more about you, and also so Vanessa and I can learn more about you, like that you coach group fitness, which is so awesome. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. And for those of you online, make sure to stay tuned because we'll be pushing out more After Dark shows, and we have our big event coming up soon.